don't know what's happening.
Well, several. One is that all the people in the district are now interested in what's going to happen because the shrine has been advertising it.
Mm-hmm.
So certainly you and Bleen would know that, might be drawn with the crowd to go and take a look. So you are at least somewhat near the area. You are the one I'm interested in because you have been sort of gliding along with "I belong here" on your face.
Exactly.
I'm with, if somebody will look at you and you're like, so therefore you have, successfully managed to penetrate into the interior.
Yeah.
And when Fedaramin throws open this door,
that's when I make my presence known.
To whom?
To you and.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, you're looking parched, especially parched today, sir.
You're the ad.
So.
A pop-up ad.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So Fedaramin is like, turns slowly and gives you this look of what?
I'm walking up with great self-confidence and
Make a roll.
For what?
Because the roll he's struggling with a decision, and the decision is whether you get to experience the joy of joining the sun.
To kill or not to kill, that is the question.
Yeah, I mean, or whether you are somebody that he needs to pay attention to or do anything with, especially because he has just activated something.
Yeah.
So it's a question of whether to get you back inside as quickly as possible or to throw you further outside. So that's kind of a question.
Okay, I have traits that I don't have points in at the moment is high society. I could perhaps pretend to be of a greater use in a way, or greater stature.
You could try, yeah.
Or I could just play on my merchant and just keep at it, I guess.
Okay. Whatever you want to do. Merchant is fine if that's what you were doing.
Yeah, I do with the merchant.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so this is a very tricky thing. I will say 2.
Okay.
When I can't decide. But help with what?
Yeah. I'm just kind of trying to interrupt.
I also need to give you a little bit of perspective.
Yeah.
As the women come to their feet, they their bodies weave unnaturally, not like rubber, but more like flickering. And their robes, their little garments are gone in flame as they then streak forward in a darting motion as if they were made of living flame. And they are grinning with great delight. They're streaking toward you.
Okay, so I have 3 dice at the moment.
So the question is whether he's going to protect you or not.
Yeah.
And the question is whether you are going to join your sister. Oh, by the way, that wagon over there seem to be a lot of
bodies on it.
Mummified.
Feet sticking out.
Yeah, mummified bodies. Yeah.
I'll spend 4, I guess. It is getting a bit dangerous.
Yes.
And I did.
Oh my god!
That's 4 ones.
Jesus Christ.
And that's where everybody
5
wants. That's where all your ones have been.
Was there one, 2?
There should be like
ones.
some system where I have getting more than one.
No, not in this game.
I'm adding I think I'm adding the pool.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really know how to
Right.
handle this situation.
Fedaramin basically seizes you and says, "You fool, get inside," and is going to throw you that way.
Yeah.
What do you want to do here? How do you want to modify this or do something?
I think I want to go with him. Because I think what I'm seeing here right now is that is setting a trap.
Yeah.
I
some sort.
think it's basically you're kind of in combat.
Okay.
You're in the trap.
You're in.
In that case, I would like to grab Fedarmin.
Right. Uh-huh.
You come here to
And-
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Superimpose him to the girls that are streaking. You know what? I'm just gonna throw him at the girls that are
Do
streaking.
it.
Sounds good. Streaking in more ways than one. I am sorry for the pun. Let's continue. You didn't hear it. I disavow that pun. Keep going. Okay, so, well, first of all, he is just a priest and so forth. So 2 dice.
I am taller, stronger, and I'm also gladiator.
I'm well aware of that. I'm wondering if you are worth 3 dice for this. I'm amused.
Start
You're gonna
dancing.
fight for that third dice.
I am gonna fight.
You're role playing. Excellent. Well, you don't have to convince me. On reflection, you are definitely physically superior to this guy. So
Thank you.
take your 3.
And the last
Oh, here it comes.
The last 2 die.
If it doesn't just one, then I'll be disappointed.
There is not a single one.
I'm disappointed.
No.
He has all the ones and you get nothing.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
You
Okay.
stole them.
In this system, that's how it goes.
That's right. Okay, so you have been flung
Yeah.
into the interior.
Did he manage to flank him though?
Yes.
Yeah, he managed to flank him because I failed.
Right, exactly. Exactly. I was sort of amused at the idea that if you flung Fedarmin, then his grip on you
Oh.
would pull you in,
No,
but
no.
you know. So anyway, though, there's now you are being burned and stabbed and swarmed by these flame women.
So they. Oh, okay. Sorry.
You were fighting them basically with the roll. So
Yes, I
if
see
you,
now.
so it wasn't just that single task.
Yeah.
It was how it was going to go.
So
with
they
this
actually
whole
got
physical-
to me in that
Right.
time. I couldn't manage to. Yeah.
Exactly. So in a way, that's a failure for
Yeah.
that purpose as well.
Okay.
Okay, let's go here to your situation.
I'm gonna be screaming.
Okay,
I'm just-
right. Good
You know
enough.
what? I know how to make an audience.
That's right.
I would be screaming my lungs out.
I see. Okay, that's actually not a bad
Best
idea.
tactic ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Works in real life too.
Not in I don't need to act a lot here.
And you have been flown with
Yep.
your perhaps juggling your water.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah. Watch it.
Whoa. Right. But you can see that there's this horrific flaming
Yeah.
violence going on just past him. And so then you have wandered up.
Yeah.
And people are looking forward to this little pageant beginning, and you realize this is a reenactment when somebody actually gets on someone else's shoulders over there in the actors and puts on a bug mask, right? So, you know, they're like, wait a minute. So, let us go to a little bit in the future. We'll find out what happens in all of this later. In the future, just by the end of the day, there is going to be, you are going to be coming to this estate. And it is walled, and there are gardens on the inside, which your character probably has never seen.
Oh,
And
sophisticated ones.
yes, and so the situation in this yard, with a few little buildings for sitting and relaxing in and things like that. There's a bigger estate house, but you're not going in there for the party, at least not now. So it's out there on these gardens, and above you can see the cliff going straight up into the sky. And the situation is just beginning to become a real party. There are plenty of people who are going to be reaching into some expected tropes. There are people whose job is to stand there.
What's tropes?
Tropes, just familiar things we know
Okay,
from
okay.
other stories.
Yeah, okay.
There are people whose job is just to stand there and have like food or fruits or things like that, and people will come and take them off them. So they're like a fruit tree or something like that. And then there are people whose job is to be entertaining. So there are people who are doing little acts or little like theater kind of poses and things in various places. These are all slaves whose job is to be entertaining and provide the right atmosphere. Of course, there is music of the jangling and kind of rhythmic variety. And there are all these people who are at this point right now. Everybody all the guests are acting kind of civilized and decent, but you will note that they are passing around these little what would it be? Yes. They look kind of like little chicken wing meats that have been toasted. And just so you know, the lizards they are made from come in lots of different colors. So this is the civilized version of Roku's experiences. So yes, so people are apparently it is considered the thing for your friends to take one from the dish that's going around and feed it to a friend.
Okay, like
And drug each other.
Right. Yeah. So that's
familiar.
Yeah. So everybody is having a great time, and you and Abyuk, I think, look a little different than you did a few hours ago.
More.
You've been dressed up a bit. Yeah. He went to some place he knew and made a few promises, and you guys got cleaned up and you don't look wealthy, but you look decent now. You look like you sort of could belong there.
Yeah.
Getting in was a little tricky though. He had to say, I am. He says he had to name drop.
Okay.
Right. He had to use some names for them to let.
And I know that, or.
Yeah, it's clear that
Okay.
I mean he isn't just being greeted and welcomed in.
Yeah.
He had to argue and say a few names, and then they had to go ask somebody, and then you guys were brought in from the side.
Shady.
Yes. So yes, there's a little bit of surprise. One of the people, a person from House Strong comes up to greet Abyuk. The first thing he says is, we heard you died last night.
Ooh.
And he said, well, I've heard that before. So yeah, they thought he was dead. Okay, so you are at this party. I need to give a name to this person. Let's go ahead and use that name that I hadn't used, Akshek, right? Who's House Sean.
How does it spell?
Oh, it's complicated. AKS
AKS
HEKH.
HEKH.
There you go. Yeah. So, Hashem. And actually says, who's this? Abu says, this is a very competent visitor from another city who has no ties here, has some needs, but most especially deserves a remarkable reward for that very fact that you just commented upon. And I think that Hans here would be a great asset for the kind of services that you especially.
Am I slave?
Um, no, it's, you know, it's,
Wait, is the slave like behind or like waiting for me?
which slave?
He has a slave.
I have
Oh, your
Hans
own, that's
and
right.
Mans.
Ah, okay.
Mans is my slave.
Good enough. Okay, yeah. Well, yes, this actually helps your status a little because this guy is also looking. You know, he has been cleaned up a little bit.
Okay.
So he, and then, you know, you have a little status if somebody's following you around, you know, taking
Yeah.
care of things. So therefore, I think, yeah, you know, looks at you a little bit and says, let's see how he manages the unexpected. There are some things, if you're working with us, you're going to have to get used to a few things. And so people clear out a little area. There is a little tree in a special spot in these gardens. And this tree is astonishingly beautiful. It's very small, but it's really beautiful with wood that you've never seen before and rich leaves of a bright green. And it looks like not of this world. It's so, you know, pretty and innocent looking. And the people who are watching all become a little bit, what is the word I want? They've got like a guilty pleasure, like something really bad and perverted is about to happen, and they get to watch. And so they all look a little bit, you know, like they're anticipating. They're looking a little bit like they're, you know, going to see something pretty awesome.
That would be a sacrifice.
And so, a man comes out, and he's brought out. He has guards, and he is an old human who looks like he has almost no water in his body. I mean, it's just like all dried and like everything is shriveled onto his bones. I mean, he's not dead, but he looks really weird because he's so fleshless and desiccated. And he's got long tangled hair. He doesn't take care of himself at all. And everybody gets really quiet. I mean, this is, you know, like they're scared of this guy, but they can't. You know, this is what they came to see. So here's what he does. Puts out his hand, and the whole branch of the tree just cracks and dries and shrivels.
That's a good part.
And and the tree actually screams.
Oh, yeah, it's actually,
Yeah.
wow, alive.
Yeah. And so, and he, you know, looks at his fingers, energies burst there. His eyes come up and he looks all the way around, and all the people are like trapped between terror and, you know, and excitement. His eyes look at you once, as and you realize, you can tell right away, he's thinking, which one am I going to kill?
No.
So he looks at you to see whether you're, you know, a good target for everybody. And then puts his hand up, and one of the guests basically collapses and explodes into white powder.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. And everybody else like lets out these cries of like excitement and relief.
Ooh, murder.
Yeah. And
First
so,
degree.
yeah, come to House Shang. It's very exciting. You don't know what's going to happen. Right? These parties are a little weird, and so and then you pick up his name. They name him. This is Tenya. And so the whole, the yeah, the fellow Akshik with you guys
Mhm.
says,
Ashik? Oh yeah.
yeah, he says, and that's what's going to happen to Ashafra, who has offended House Sham and who's set, and we will never permit her to defile, well, I wouldn't use that word, to poison and corrupt the bed of Nibenay. So yeah, they are going to get active about this quite soon.
Oh, okay.
So the question, and Abuk kind of fades back. He has his own deals to make, his own usefulness to Al Sham. He's going to go take care of that. And they say what Akshek says. Temnia needs a minder and an assistant. How would you like a job?
What do I receive? Is it a status or is it monetary?
Both.
I'll accept.
Yeah. So that's your role in this now. I couldn't see a die roll.
No.
Because you didn't have the kind of status that would make you an exciting death. You were just some tough guy stranger, right? So I was thinking,
I was thinking my slave was gonna get it.
Yeah, well, again, though, I mean, this was for maximum entertainment. This was actually one of the high status guests that
Just a random slave. Yeah, whatever.
The whole point of being there was, oh my God, one of us.
Could you do that? And if he has slave as a trait,
What was that?
he has slave as a skill.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could still kill his slave.
Well, that's a very good
Then
question.
I had to
Probably
make
more.
adjustments.
I think that my take on that is that first of all, they would get a death save, like a character does, I think. And also that the trait itself wouldn't go away.
No.
There would be either a different slave or there would be some word change around it that would give it context.
I think I'll buy another slave.
Yeah.
If that happens.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's my thinking. And I think that kind of brings us to where we can stop. Unfortunately, Philip, you were the one kind of left out. So we have to figure out, as you can see, we can operate
Next week.
next week. But Philip has to get some showcasing.
Yeah.
And we have to find out how you do with your current.
I'm obviously dead.
I wouldn't go that far.
That's burning for a week.
Maybe say
I have
maybe-
water,
Yeah, I was actually thinking like, oh, good thing that the water
I think I got a
merchant
plan
there.
for your character.